So let me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long stretch of water. This water is straight and level and does not flow.
Advanced simplicity takes hold. You find the truth from things of old.
So let me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long straight stretch of water. At each end of this straight stretch of water is a bridge. Point A, so you've got 2 bridges. Point B. This water is straight and level and does not flow. At each end of this water is a bridge. Point A, point B. At each bridge there is a plumb bob hanging down to the water.
We are on the road,
even altitude,
suspending judgment until the truth is known. You will find peace within.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
Now, on these vertical strings, can you imagine an even altitude? A point at an equal height above the surface of the water below.
Advanced simplicity takes hold.
An even altitude.
You find the truth from things of old.
And on these vertical strings, can you imagine 2 points? So let me give you a hypothetical. Can you imagine point A and even altitude at these points and point B? And on these vertical strings, we can establish a perpendicular and even altitude and call one point A and the other point B. 2 points. Point A, point B, even altitude.
We are on the road,
2 points.
suspending judgment until the truth is known.
Point A,
You will find peace within.
point B.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
The point at an equal height above the surface of the water below. Point A, point B. Point A, even altitude. Point B.
There's no end game in mind.
Is the shortest distance between those 2 points?
It's only the truth that we seek to find.
We know the shortest distance
There's no end game in mind.
between 2 points is a straight
It's
line.
only the truth that we seek to find.
Now, here's the question I'm asking myself. How can the distance between these 2 points be anything other than horizontal?
Everyone must see it for
Horizontal.
themselves. The truth
2
is there
points.
for you to find.
And then ask yourself, and the water?
And we are live. Welcome everyone. It's probably going to be a bit of a short one tonight. I don't know. Well, we're going to go over. Put out a short today that I think seems to be at the heart of what we're having to deal with at the minute. And that is the idea of the identity of subjects. And now, I mean, normal people, if they want to know what things are, that they look in dictionaries to find out the meanings of words. Thesaurus is to find words that are complementary, synonyms, antonyms, all of that. So the idea is with these dictionary definitions, the question is, does anybody ever believe that a dictionary would have a definition for something that is contradictory to the definition that it states? i.e. a dictionary. Do you think dictionaries, within the law of identity of what a dictionary does, it gives a definition of something, do dictionaries, or anybody really, have the ability to violate the law of non-contradiction about the identity of what they say the definition is? To go to the actual understanding of what a contradiction is. There's quite a lot in the chat. People are saying, oh yeah, they go with contradictions. Now, me personally, I don't think a world where there are contradictions is a tough place, especially for communication. And then this goes for we'll go to some particular examples and the way that people use these. But yeah, a dictionary is the place where one goes to look for the definition of a word, which would be the law of identity, the actual identity of the subject, whatever it is that you're looking at. So the idea of a contradiction is well, it talks about the proposition, but I don't know whether we're talking here about the law of identity. Yes, the words can have different meanings. I do understand that. That's not the same as a contradictory meaning. I'm talking about the definition of black being both black and white, as in a contradiction, not just meaning different things. I mean, everybody, yeah, like the example of a trunk meaning an elephant's nose, or a suitcase for carrying things. I mean, they're not really contradictory, they're just different meanings. I'm talking about an actual definition within a dictionary to contradict the very meaning. Now, say like a dictionary has a part A and a part B. Do you believe it's possible for part A to contradict part B within the definition of a word? So, for example, an oxymoron would be a contradictory word or statement that shows the contradiction within it.
Generally speaking, oxymoron is a contradiction in adjective. So, for example, bright, darkness. So bright is adjective and darkness is term. So
Afternoon.
Yeah.
Bright contradicts darkness. So it is oxymoron.
Yeah. But the oxymoron isn't the contradiction. It goes to describe the contradiction within. It's normally as short as you can get it within a statement, or even within a word. Well, I guess you'd have to have two words, wouldn't you?
Yes, description of a word and word itself, like bright darkness, because darkness is a noun and bright is adjective.
Yeah, like a straight curve.
Yeah, similar, yeah.
So I don't believe I don't believe that a dictionary could implement a contradiction within its very understanding, because then you would not know what the definition was to mean. You wouldn't be defining something with an oxymoron. I don't think you could define something with an oxymoron. But that's the question.
No, because definition has to be logical. So I would say that if there is some oxymoron in definition, it dismisses this definition. It is invalid definition, I would say.
Yeah, so what's this guy's got us to have a look at? What did he say? Look up contronym. I don't get this. Are these words two-faced? That's no, that's not. Contronyms. Auto-antonym. Auto-antonym. I don't like this isn't exactly what I was meaning. Auto-antonym. Contronyms, also known as Janus words or auto-antonyms, are words that have contradictory or reverse meanings depending on the context. That's context dependent.
Therefore, but different context means different definition. So
Yeah.
we are talking about different things.
Like a
But-
trunk and for an elephant and a trunk as a suitcase. That, you know, they're not really contradictory, but I suppose there could be different contexts with certain ones that do make them contradictory. But it's not
Yes,
exactly
but-
what I'm talking about.
Yes, but in specific context, the meaning is fixed. Like, for example, ball. You can dance on a ball, and you can go to a ball. So in context, you know that if you are going to a ball, and then you can dance there. So you didn't mean the shape. So this context is describing meaning of this word. So you cannot confuse.
I was like thinking about you know, when Beddy said the other day, he said that he thinks that if P does not mean the truth statement of P, doesn't imply the truth statement of P, which is sort of like the premise. It's the identity of the subject that you are imparting something of P, right? You're predicating something of something else. Now, the truth value of the identity of that thing has to have the truth value has to be there. So in order for that statement to either be true or false, I was thinking about in like the context of what he was trying to say, that if you don't have a truth value about the if p, then you are allowing for a contradictory answer. How could you end up with a statement if the identity isn't within that a yes no type situation within a statement?
I would say that you have to have both identity and existence. So this is true value. So if P exists, and if P is really P, because if the meaning of the word is not known, so you cannot say that if you are talking about P, that you are really talking about P, because you don't know if this P is different P. So it doesn't make any sense. So both identity and true.
Yeah, you would have to have this the truth value all the way maintained all the way through it for this statement to be true.
But if you are changing meaning of the word, so this P is in that context not that P, or you are using in different meaning your P, you will create non sequitur, because consequence is derived from specific thing, not just, for example, this trunk. So if you use trunk in specific meaning and you have consequence of this trunk, if this is in the meaning of back of the car, and there is some consequence from that, there would be no consequence for trunk, the same consequence if you use in the meaning that this is a nose of elephant or whatever. So only one meaning would create sequitur. Other meaning would create non sequitur statement.
Well,
Right, I've got this, put it in the live chat. So this is where it comes from, really. The Blue Marble's statement. Let's see whether we can get it on. It's only short.
it comes down to this, and it's just disingenuous. No one can make the claim that level is horizontal and then deny that they think the earth is flat.
Okay.
No, this is classical non sequitur.
Well, what's he say? Let's get it. So he says, I don't know whether we've got a transcript of it or not. I've got quite a few. So yeah, he says about level being horizontal. Now, I don't think he's correct. I think there is a black swan here. Many, right? I think anybody could say, well, wait a minute. I know that level is horizontal, and I also know that the earth is not flat. Which I was told today by one of the dogmatic preachers. Let me find that for you. I think it's that one. Right, so this is guy called F.E. Dogma. He seems to be doing a lot of this sort of stuff. He says locally, I would agree that the word level is really the same as horizontal, since the differences are too small to measure. So let's deal with that logically.
Yes. So I would say that this is sophistry, because if you read that literally, it means that in that location that he was, he would agree. Because locally, I would agree. So at this location where I am, for example, in United States, I would agree that the word level is really the same, etc.
Yeah, well, the same
is what he
being
said.
equal to, right?
Yes,
But then
he's-
saying the differences are too small to measure.
yes,
So if they're the same, how many differences are there?
infinite number of differences.
When it's the
Because-
same. When
Yeah.
they're really the same, the differences are too small to measure. See, that sounds contradictory to me. They can't be both the same and then have differences, because they're not the same if there are differences. Sounds like there's a vacuous part that he's added on to the end of it that I would say is the sophistry within that.
Yes, really the same means really the same.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no differences. They cannot be. To be really the same. So literally the same.
The differences are not there.
No differences. Zero differences. This is meaning of really the same.
And he keeps putting him in inverted commas, which normally means not that. Not
Yeah.
spoken. It's just not that. So anything you see in inverted commas usually is a not that. And when I do it, I put more than two, so you don't get confused between the speech and the not that. Just the not that meaning not what you're thinking of. Right, but this is the interesting part is this last bit. You'll get to see the power that Bev has on the dogma and the people who produce the dogma, and the reason the dogma has to change because of conversation. He says the term flat earth, inverted commas again, frantic bunny ears, not flat earth, right? Never meant a world without terrain, and no flat ever believed this. So he's speaking for all the flat earthers, right? It says then, flat earth always referred to a world that was not a globe with curved surfaces. But I've seen curved surfaces, right? And not a globe where the world, a world where the oceans are horizontal plains with topographical features. The oceans. I haven't got a clue what he's talking about, right? But this is the interesting part. He says, you are the one who decided to change the agreed upon definition of flat earth by claiming you can prove the earth isn't flat because of terrain, elevation changes. That's me. Me, Bev. I'm the one who decided to change the agreed upon definition of flat Earth by claiming that I can prove that the Earth isn't flat. So me saying I can prove the Earth isn't flat made FE dogma change the agreed upon definition of flat Earth. I did that.
But you didn't change any definition.
Well, the dogmatic one, it seems like the dogmatic model has to change its definition of flat Earth now that we can prove that it's not flat. So it now means something different. There was an agreed upon definition before, which I've never got anybody to tell me. Because I say it's a oxymoron. Flat Earth is literally an oxymoron. Dinosaur Falcon says that flat earthers don't mean it's literally flat. Well, what do they mean? Because the Earth isn't flat. And if they don't mean the Earth being flat, well, what does it mean? Is it indeed an oxymoron? Or is it just two words that don't mean anything, that mean something to each person? I don't have a definition of it. I can tell you the Earth's not flat, and I can prove that the Earth's not flat. What is it to anybody else? Nobody wants to talk about it. It's ECV material. Yeah, well, if they mean level is horizontal, then they should be saying that. Because nobody's told everybody else that. So when I say the Earth isn't flat, but level is horizontal, I can prove level being horizontal. Are they actually the same thing? Because I didn't know. I wasn't aware of that. And I'm pretty damn sure a lot of people aren't aware of it. Like dictionaries, surveyors. Basically, everybody knows that level is horizontal. So, who's had to change the definition of flat Earth? And what's it changed from? And what's it changed to? Because everybody knows I'm not a flat earther. So are we turning people who aren't flat earthers into flat earthers because there's a proof that the Earth is not flat? Or because there's a proof that level is horizontal? Because I think it'd be ridiculous to change the definition of flat Earth to something that is provable. Wouldn't make sense to me. And who would be wanting to do that? Who would be the people that want to get into I don't know, would you call it a semantic?
Well, yes, I would call it misnomer, but yes, it is oxymoron in a sense, because this is the noun here is Earth, and Earth is 3D object. So by definition, it cannot be flat. Even yes, but if you are talking about surface of the Earth, it is even less flat because there is undulation, curvature, or whatever.
So what was the agreed upon definition of flat Earth before I said I could prove it's not flat? Does anyone know that?
Yes, but I'm For me, Effie Dogma is again showing his sophistry, because this name, flat Earth, is not a definition. This is just name. You can call it misnomer, oxymoron, okay, but this is not a definition.
Well, I'm thinking about that weird guy that said that if you say that level is horizontal, you are actually thinking flat Earth.
Yes, this is non sequitur, yes.
Because
But
level being horizontal has got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. It has got everything to do with how you measure elevations. But the actual Earth is measured relative to the level. It's not, doesn't dictate level or horizontal. That's ridiculous. But is that where we're going now? Is that what they want to do? They want to relate the shape of the Earth to something that's not of the Earth, right? Because level being horizontal is not of the Earth at all.
yeah, because water seeks its own level, not Earth. Earth is not seeking its own level.
Yeah. It's interesting that these weird boomers and like Fe Dogma there was an agreed upon definition of flat Earth according to this guy. This is the dogma guy. He's the one that hands out the dogma. You are the one who decided to change the agreed upon definition of flat Earth by claiming you can prove the Earth isn't flat. So I'm sorry, everyone, but I mean, let me know, what was the agreed upon? Where was the council when they agreed upon this definition of flat Earth that I made them change? So
Which
sorry,
is not
guys, what was
definition.
it agreed upon and what's it changed to?
Okay, but first, flat Earth is not definition. This is just name. And if you change definition, so into what?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I want to know what the agreed upon definition was beforehand. I mean, this is, who's it, Fe Dogma. So he should know what the definition was beforehand and the definition after. Because I'm apparently the cause of this. We know, or the only thing we know, according to this Fe Dogma thing, is I'm the cause of the definition of flat Earth changing. Now, I've asked a lot of people. Nobody knows what flat Earth is. Nobody wants to talk about it. There's a few subjects that revolve around these contradictory statements, oxymorons, that nobody wants to address. 4 years people have been running and hiding from a conversation about these contradictory statements. We're into a study now on the proof project for level being horizontal, and it starts with the understanding, and we're hitting it right where we need to, is the contradictory stuff. People need to be able to talk about these things. Like I say, I'm not a flat earther. Never have been, never could be, because I deal with logical statements, and quite obviously I can prove that the Earth's not flat. But if somebody wants to change the definition of what flat Earth is, I mean, I can prove it's not flat, but does changing the definition change the proof that the Earth's not flat? And does the definition of something, can it be contradictory? Can you change a definition to stop a proof that it's not possible. And what would be going on in the mind of the person that's stating these things? What is going on in the minds of people that want to turn this into a conversation about something? This is literally the identity of something that nobody has a definition for. Dinosaur Falcon saying no one thinks it's literally flat. They mean level/horizontal. Well, that's not what flat Earth is. You should be honest and say that's not about flat Earth at all. It's about level being horizontal. And if nobody knows about level being horizontal, then they can find their own proof of that. It's not that simple, Dinosaur Falcon. It can't be, because nobody wants to address the proof that level is horizontal, or what they call the definition of flat Earth. People just want to use flat Earth as some sort of a barricade to stop conversation. We've been going over it for years. That people don't want to see actual proof of level being horizontal. They want to pretend it's about something else. I've watched it. I've watched all of the slander and everything occur. But now, this group of people have literally stated that if you say level is horizontal, if you predicate level of horizontal or horizontal of level, then you are, according to these boomers, thinking of flat Earth. Now, I'm not aware of how many people are aware of these old boomers actually saying this. Because as we're going to see in a moment, yep, Mike Dornan said he's heard flat earthers say it's measured flat. So they do say it. I've got clips of them saying it. So
Mountains, what else? Sextant is measuring flat,
yeah,
an angle, flat angle, many things. So for me, it is going too far, because it is starting to be ridiculous.
yeah. See, I'm not defending flat earthers here at all, because, like everybody says, they do say some stupid shit. That's why we're not flat earthers. Definitely not. I can still prove it's not flat to anyone. And you can also prove that level is horizontal. But it's obviously not about level being horizontal to certain people. Other people get really offended when you say that level is horizontal. Let me,
One global says that this is not hump, this is drop. Other says that this is hump and not drop. And others say that they have both, and this is not contradiction. So
yeah,
there
we've
are
heard
many.
it all. I'm not. See, those people saying those things. Well, we've already been round there. We've tested it, and yes, there are a group of people that I call them the nutsacked people. It's a very strange condition that you've accepted contradictory statements into your personal logical system. Now, I don't know why people would do that. Mainly because they get too focused upon a certain thing or whatever. Oh. Okay, right. So I'm gonna go over this. I don't know how long this has been around, but we're gonna go over this dictionary. I don't know whether people have noticed this before. I tend to do these sort of things. Right, so here we go. This is Merriam-Webster dictionary. And as you can see there, we're starting off with level. Okay. So this is a dictionary and we're going over definitions. Number one. So this is within a dictionary. Remember what that old dude said? That if you say level is horizontal, then you're thinking about flat earth. And this is in a dictionary. A device for establishing a horizontal line or plane by means of a bubble in a liquid that shows adjustment to the horizontal by movement to the center of a slightly bowed glass tube. Mentions horizontal line or plane and shows adjustment to the horizontal by movement of the bubble. Anybody got a problem with that within the dictionary? It does say that level is a device for establishing a horizontal line or plane. And nobody's got a problem with that, right?
Yeah, and it
It's
means
fine. It's good.
this slightly bowed glass tube. It means this bubble has to be in in the highest position.
It's a
So
spirit
it is-
level.
yeah.
Yeah. Most people will know that. Spirit level, used on construction sites and for putting pictures on the walls or whatever, you know. Come in all sorts of sizes, but they all do the same thing. Establishing a horizontal line or plane. Number two, a measurement of the difference of altitude of 2 points by means of a level. I'd say like an auto level, measuring the elevation of different points, right?
Yes, so your level is your reference.
Yep. And you're measuring the altitude of 2 points above the ground. Okay. And number three, horizontal condition, especially equilibrium of a fluid marked by a horizontal surface of even altitude. Water seeks its own level. Equilibrium of a fluid, water, let's say, marked by a horizontal surface of even altitude. Water seeks its own level. So level in this case is the water level and a horizontal condition. Nobody's got a problem with that, right? Being in the dictionary. It's just a dictionary. Nobody's saying anything about the people that wrote this in the dictionary. So repeating it would not be a problem, right? Anybody should be able to go around and state these facts that are wrote down in a dictionary after you look it up. What's level? Oh, I'll have a look. There, boom, there it is in a dictionary. I'm using a water level, a horizontal condition. Exactly, that's what I wanted to use it for. Yes, it does. Number four, an approximately horizontal line or surface taken as an index of altitude. rather weird description is this. Charts were arranged at eye level. And then, see, this is here. You've got 4, right? And this has got an A and a B. Now, within the dictionary, could A be a different level than B within this? Because this is 4. And it's got A and B. Everyone can see that. Could they be different? So I'm not saying, I don't know, I'm putting that out for everyone to have a question, right?
I would say that they have similar meaning because approximately it means that it is referring to measurement, because you always will have some error in measurement. So I would say that both of this fourth entry, A and B, are referring to practicality. So that would mean that this approximately horizontal is the same as practically horizontal.
Yeah.
It is as close as you can get by means of measurement.
So similar sort of thing, but slightly different descriptions of the same thing between A and B. But you couldn't really have them contradicting each other, would you? That would be really weird. Number 5, position in a scale or rank of achievement, significant or value, right? Funded at the national level. That's probably not relevant to that was here. This one. This one now, though. Sorry. Was that John?
Yeah, I just go back. Can you go back to the first one for a minute? Because, you know, that confused me when they said a slightly bowed glass tube in a level. And I never actually ever caught there being a slightly bowed glass tube. And I'm holding a level and the tube is not bowed. So I'm not sure what they mean by that.
The glass is slightly bowed so you can get the bubble to rise to the center. They have to be calibrated.
Oh, yeah, but you can't actually see it, though, can you?
No, it's
because every time the bubble goes, when the bubble goes to either side, it's still touching the top. It seems like it's touching the top of a horizontal tube.
Yes, but it has to be slightly bowed.
I can see the logic behind that for sure, but I'm just saying it's not actually, you can't see the bow. That's all I'm saying.
It is within a glass tube also.
Right.
So it's not that you would necessarily be able to see it.
Okay, yeah, you know, I could see how it made sense, but I said, God, I never noticed a bow in the tube in all years I've been using a level.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
Just for you too, John. So the actual level itself, I've brought this up before, but if you just want to look at my screen, the reason that bow is very small to see is, check this out. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
They're only accurate to 0.029, I believe, of a degree.
Okay.
I somehow cannot switch to...
A degree to what?
Okay.
Horizontal.
Yeah.
But that is the device for finding the horizontal.
Is that a machinist level, Rob, or?
Nope, just a little bubble level.
Okay.
Here, I'll give you a better picture of it. I'll just put a picture of it in live chat.
We're on about definitions. Trying to talk about contradictions. Can we carry on?
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just a little confused by that. Thank you.
Okay, so number 6 is the one that I wanted to get to anyway. So this is where you have to put your thinking hats on. Take this stuff. This is, remember, this is in a dictionary. And you're after proofs. See whether this rings true with anyone. It says, a line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, and hence would everywhere coincide with a surface of still water.
I think you meant to say coincide. But that makes sense.
Yes, all plumb lines that it meets.
All.
So line. So along this line, all plumbs will be
Perpendicular to a
perpendicular.
horizontal. Yep.
No, to level, because this is definition of level.
Oh, level. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
Line
Sorry.
or surface, and because plumb lines are also perpendicular to horizontal, it means that horizontal is the same as level, of course.
Mm-hmm. And it says B, part B, for the same one, the plane of the horizon or a line in it.
Yeah. So
Just for further clarification, right? So a line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, and hence would everywhere coincide with a surface of still water. Obviously, straight line. And then
Now, doesn't that
the
mean
plane
that-
of the horizon or a line in it. Also, straight line.
Now, what I
Horizontal.
visualize when I'm reading that is that the horizontal line will meet every plumb line perpendicularly. Is that not what that's saying, or am I wrong?
Well, that's saying that a line, a line or surface that cuts
Right.
perpendicularly all
All-
plumb lines,
all-
not
all
just
plumb
one, all
Right.
of them.
Well, if you have a million plumb lines lined up and that line or surface cuts each one perpendicularly, you've got a perfect horizontal line, do you not?
Well, that would be well, it says there the plane of the horizon or a line in it. Now, all horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon, so
Right.
all the lines within those planes that are parallel to the plane of the horizon would be horizontal.
Right.
And according to this, a line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, and hence would everywhere coincide with the surface of still water. So what you'd have to do is to have something different, like Hex is saying in the chat. It doesn't say a straight line, but it does. It says a line or surface, and it says the plane of the horizon or a line in it. They're straight.
yes, because a line or surface that cuts perpendicularly, and
What-
perpendicular means that we are dealing with straight lines or planes.
You're dealing with a right angle, correct?
And the plane of the horizon or line in it. If it would be a curved surface, it wouldn't be the plane of the horizon. You cannot have the plane of the horizon being the same as level if level would be curved.
Right.
And you can't
Because-
have all plumb lines meeting it perpendicularly if it was curved.
Right.
That would go against that. That's why
You'd have
this
a
is
diff-
called contradictory statements.
Sure, you'd have a different angle at the plumb line eventually than
do
a,
you
than a
have
right
that?
angle.
It's perpendicular.
Yeah.
Can you have contradictory statements within dictionary definitions? This has got an A and a B part to it.
Yes, A and B. Uh, they are complementary, so
I think so.
Well, they have to
they
be,
have
don't
to
they?
be. Otherwise, that would be contradiction. If
Correct.
you can imagine that in entry A, 6A, this surface is curved, it would be contradiction to the plane of the horizon because the plane is not curved. So you cannot say that level is curved because otherwise you would have curved plane, which is nonsense. You cannot have
It's an
curved plane.
oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a curved straight line. Straight circle. These are the easiest words to explain an oxymoron. An oxymoron in 2 words. There's not many, is there? Straight contradictions. But straight curve and a curved plane are 2 of them. They've got genius mathematicians. Right, but how could something so simple within a definition have gone unnoticed by a group of people? Now we're in 2023 and you've got boomers stating that if you say this, you're thinking of flat earth. Well, I'm not. This isn't foreign to me. None of these words mean any contradiction to me. They're natural. These are all of these things that are stated here within this for the definitions of these things. They're provable in reality. You think a line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets and hence could coincide with surface of still water. You think that's not provable? You can't actually do that in reality. Of course you can. Do you think that they don't know that that's a horizontal? Is that not the definition of a horizontal? All of the other definitions were of horizontal. Why would that one there be any different? And why's nobody ever mentioned it if it is different? And why would somebody have a problem with a noun? I've heard that's a problem. Hex thinks that dictionaries can have contradictory statements. I'd say if we live in a world where people are allowed to contradict the identity, that we do have a law of non-contradiction within logic. And I think it goes beyond logic. It's literally in reality. You can't contradict, especially within conversation or anything. You'll get yourself into trouble. What sort of a person wants to allow for contradictions? How dangerous a state is that to put your mind in, where you are actively arguing for a contradiction, like Hex is in the live chat right now. Level, the verb, to make a line or surface horizontal. Make flat or level. To bring to a horizontal aiming position. I mean, how could you have a contradictory definition X says in the chat, a reasonable person would understand that contradictions happen. That's a broken mind. I would state there are 0 contradictions in reality. The law of non-contradiction applies to reality in a fundamental way.
I absolutely agree with you on that.
See, Hexon and obviously other people have got this idea where they don't actually understand what a contradiction is. We call it ECV. It's the ability of people to not look at something. It's something is so real that they can't have it, because Hex obviously wants to live in a world where he can have his contradictions. He's happier to be in a state of contradiction, whereas I'm not too sure. I think if you can cut out contradictions and at least discuss them, I mean, you only find these contradictions through conversation. Usually through
It's through
statements.
false information being presented, right, Bev?
I don't know
And
who's
people
false
accepting it.
information.
Pardon me?
There's no false information within this dictionary.
No, I'm talking about, but certain groups and organizations do present false information to the public. So, and that's where the contradictions come from.
Certain YouTubers slander people, and that's handing out false information. Like Hex is in the chat there. He says the law of non-contradiction only works if you use words consistently. No. The law of non-contradiction does not matter what words you use. People, modern day people, have become to accept contradictions. They embrace them. It's needed to. Rumpus is saying he's looking for a contradictory definition within a dictionary. Rumpus literally thinks that a dictionary has a contradiction inbuilt into it, even though all of these definitions state. It's this one here, Rumpus. It says a line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, and hence would everywhere coincide with the surface of still water. And then B is the plane of the horizon or a line in it. Now, I don't know many people that would be willing mentally to allow for a contradiction within those two statements. Rumpus is asking us to look in different definitions. What's up with these definitions, Rumpus? Why are the dictionary definitions not good enough? Do you think there's somewhere that contradicts the dictionary definition? And that's the basic question. Who's going to allow themselves to believe contradictory definitions? For what purpose? The use of the level will never contradict Like that, a law of non-contradiction applies to reality. In reality, this practical horizontal surface or area, that's literally in reality. How do you think you get that? Well, a level provides a horizontal condition. Who'd want to be able to contradict these definitions? Rumpus, there's no good having a go at me. Rumpus is literally contradicting. And as we know, right, this is what we're meant to be doing. Because there are geniuses that can contradict themselves and definitions within the dictionary. Okay, so let's have a look at that. This one here, Rumpus. Everyone see that? It's this is an adjective, right? So put your thinking caps on and take this. Having no part higher than another, conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the Earth's surface. That's part A. And part B says parallel with the plane of the horizon. Horizontal. Okay, so if part B is horizontal, could part A contradict it within a dictionary definition? It says having no part higher than another, conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the Earth's surface. So, what's that? Mentioned that. This horizontal condition, the equilibrium of a fluid marked by a horizontal surface of even altitude. Is water the liquid part of the Earth's surface?
Yes, and this is equilibrium of this water.
Of a horizontal. It's called a horizontal condition. Anyone any idea how much curve there is in a horizontal condition?
Can you please scroll down to this A and B, this adjective? Because B is talking about horizontal. It means that parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah.
Horizontal, it means that it has to be straight line or plane. So conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth surface means it is the same. So level is horizontal. So we would have two, let's say, two options. If the level is curved, that would mean that horizontal is curved. But this entry B is getting rid of this option of curvature because it means parallel with the plane of the horizon. So horizontal in a B entry can be only straight line. And if it is straight line and it is the same as conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts, it means that it is conforming to zero curvature. It is only option that you can make agreement between entry A and B.
Rumpus is now saying that the horizon is curved, yet there's no such definition of a curved plane, Rumpus. Planes don't curve. The plane of the horizon, Rumpus. No curve. I mean, why are you attempting to place within your own mind a contradiction?
Except for very special circumstances. Okay. So this is special pleading fallacy. No, this is not special circumstances. This is normal thing, because water seeks level always, not in special circumstances. So water creates horizon, and this horizon, from that horizon you can have plane. If horizon would be curved, you wouldn't have a plane of the horizon, because you cannot create plane of curved line.
Yeah, Rumpus sees curvature, but doesn't realise that the curvature's zero, horizontal. But he's happy with the curvature. He can imagine the contradiction within it, and that eases Rumpus. It makes him feel better. These people that live with contradictions. I mean, you know the type of people they are by the way they act. See this bit down here? It also says, this is level, adjective, being a surface perpendicular to all lines of force in a field of force. That would be the equilibrium earlier. And the perpendicular to the plumb lines, all of the plumb lines. Rumpus, the earth is not flat, Rumpus. Don't be trying to tell everybody that the earth is flat. It's not, Rumpus. We know that the earth is not flat. But we also know that level is a tool for establishing a horizontal. It says it in the dictionary. Nobody would contradict the dictionary. Look how busy they are. You can see who the ones that are called into action. When somebody's talking about level being horizontal and they're defending their friends, who notice they can't come out.
I would say that Rumpus's disagreement is completely meaningless.
Yeah.
Because, for example, in the court of law, there is a rule, and I know that from many lawyers, that ultimate instance for defining things in court, if it is important, is dictionary. This is the last resort for judge. So, you cannot overcome this. So dictionary is last resort even for judge. And this is the definitive, let's say, judgment about meaning of the word for judges. And I would say it is obligatory for them. So, as I said, Rumpus's disagreement is completely meaningless.
Rumpus, I don't think you can. I think you're the only one, Rumpus. The level is quite obviously are horizontal. There's no other way to read any of these definitions, Rumpus. A line or surface that cuts perpendicularly all plumb lines that it meets, and hence would everywhere coincide with surface of still water. Let's have a look at still water. Water seeking its level, that's still, isn't it? Equilibrium of a fluid marked by a horizontal surface of even altitude. And there's a bit down here as well at the bottom. Go to. It's got the kids' definitions of level. A device used by a carpenter to establish a horizontal line or surface. A horizontal line or surface usually at a named height, like an elevation mark, no, a number on a vertical. And then this one here, it has the verb and then the adjective, right? So this is equal to the one that Rumpus is going for, except for children, you know, to make it simpler. And it says level, adjective, having a flat, even surface. Or being on a line with the horizon. Horizontal. All horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. And yeah, for kids.
And by the way, Rumpus is trying defend his position. He's saying that plumb bobs like radials will meet a curved surface as a perpendicular. No, because perpendicular in dictionary is straight. Is relationship between two straight lines. So it is dismiss of Rumpus's argument.
Standing at right angles to the plane of the horizon, exactly upright, perpendicular, being at right angles to a given line or plane. Not curve, Rumpus. Planes don't curve. Perpendiculars don't curve. I'd say you're obsessed, Rumpus. Something wrong with you.
And by the way, if
water doesn't curve,
if water would curve, then in dictionary they would say that it is perpendicular to tangent to curved surface, but they don't say that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but there are a group of people, obviously, that want to confuse. They live in a land of confusion themselves. The contradictory place where they have contradictory definitions of things in reality. I don't know why. And I don't know how these minds get into this position where they readily accept, and more than accept, they're actively attempting to push these contradictions that they hold onto other people.
Yes,
from just reading the dictionary.
Rumpus is trying again. He says, a flat, even surface is curved. If surface is curved, it is not flat. You can say that it is smooth, but not flat.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come and have a look and see a person having a mental breakdown, basically.
Rumpus is a walking contradiction himself, Bev.
Yeah.
I know.
So he imagined that ball can be flat ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've had that. He's learnt that from Brenda. Diletheism. Once your mind is allowed to accept contradictions, it can go anywhere. And there's few people in the chat right now, and this is what's needed. Crazy people to come in. Can you imagine? Look, I'm not a flat earther. Why is Rumpus trying to convince people of a contradiction in reality in the chat? What's up with him? Who'd have known going over a dictionary definition only because some old boomer that Rumpus probably has some sort of a relationship with, he's defending this old boomer, saying that if, like this dictionary, you say that a level is a device for establishing a horizontal plane of reference, if you say that, he thinks that you are thinking about flat Earth. It's not mentioned anywhere in there at all. Doesn't mention flat Earth. But as you can see, Rumpus is defending his older friend. This ridiculous statements that his older friend has said.
I think that this is just desperation.
X, if you start lying, you're gone. Next time, one more time. Rumpus, stop speaking for surveyors. Don't be handing out misinformation. You'll be getting banned too. Surveyors do not contradict the definition of level from the dictionary, Rumpus. They just don't do it. That's misinformation. Stop doing it. You cannot speak for an entire profession, Rumpus, when you're obviously mentally afflicted. You're trying to convince people of a contradiction that you hold. Nobody else does. Everyone else can see how ridiculous it is. Yet we have adults literally talking shite in the chat. Look at him go. He's getting his pay done. Imagine being so triggered at somebody looking at a dictionary. We don't need to go to that. We're dealing with more base understanding, Rumpus. The fundamentals, the elements, as we call it. Where do you find the elements of words? Within a dictionary. Yes, they can be used for common usage and terms, but if you were going to build a syllogism, then you would also have to make sure that the identity of the subject and predicate would have to be well defined and understood. You would have to come to terms on those subject matter things. Talking about level, the tool, establishing a horizontal plane. I mean, the dictionary says it does. I'm not going to go against the dictionary. I know for a fact that surveyors won't go against the dictionary definition either. Dictionaries wouldn't be teaching children falsehoods within the definitional stage. It's ridiculous to assume that grown adults who've obviously got nothing to do with dictionaries or the meanings of whatever can attempt to hand contradictory statements, pass them on to dictionaries, saying that you're not interpreting the dictionaries correctly. A different definition of perpendicular, a plane. Or whether there's anything else worth going over. Contradictions are... Huh. Like we say, I've done a bit of surveying, trained in it, and I think Rumpus trying to speak contradictions into a profession he knows nothing about is disgusting. But hey, it is 2023, and we do find ourselves in a part of the internet where model afflicted people want to pass on contradictions to other people and claim I don't know, claim intelligence, claim superiority. I mean, let's face it, they're finished. They've got nothing. The best they can do is try and slander people and pass on contradictions. They want to forcefully hand you a contradiction that you have to accept. Otherwise, they'll just hound you forever. Maybe they might try the new blue marble science defense and just say that if you say that level is horizontal, then you are thinking of flat Earth. Why would anybody want to say that? I don't know. You'll have to ask. You'll have to ask the model afflicted.
I think that it's projection. When they think, globers in this arena, when they think about level being horizontal, they think about flat Earth. That would be projection.
Not within reality. Nobody in reality thinks like this group of people. But within this arena, they've created themselves a nice little paracosm. And they do have people who play the game, right? There are flat earthers that say it's measured flat. So maybe, just maybe, Blue Marble and Rumpus and the rest of the Blue Marble scientists, perhaps they are mistaking us, living in reality, knowing that level is horizontal. They're confusing us with people who say that surveyors measure things flat, which they don't. And you should stick to that, Rumpus. If you're out there listening, stick to the people that talk shit about surveyors, because then you can both do the same. You can live in your fantasy world. But there are some people around that do live in reality, that do know that the earth is not flat, but they know also that level is horizontal. Now, there are benefits to knowing this and to being able to see through the contradictions of modern day life. This is one of the biggest highlights, to show the extremes that people can go to within the mind once you allow contradictions. Modern day contradictions are everywhere. They're not just within this arena. They are everywhere. Now imagine holding those contradictions like Rumpus and defending them, getting aggressive because somebody isn't going along with your contradiction. Forget Hex. Who's the one that's coming in projecting? Who's the one that's getting defensive because of people talking about people pushing contradictions? You're putting yourself in a group there, Hex. You're doing that.
When people are saying that some other people thinks because of something, this is projection, because you cannot say that someone is thinking about something because you think that he is thinking about this. This is unjustified judgment of not your thoughts. So please don't do that, because it is just idiotic.
There are things that are provable in reality. In order to prove things, like Betty explained the other day, you need to start with premises. Now, the assumptions, I'd put the assumptions beforehand. I wouldn't even put them within the premise. If you're making an if statement, you are laying up a premise. Now, the truth value of what you're saying, like if the cat is black, right, requires there to be a cat. And the colour black. You can't replace the cat for a dog and not say anything, right? It didn't require the truth value of the P. Well, yes, it does. It requires the truth value of the thing that you're stating. You cannot contradict yourself within a premise. The terms of the things are required to have a truth value. If you don't start off with a truth value, you're never going to end up with that truth value maintained all the way through. So it is needed, it's necessary. And dictionaries, I would pretty sure that people would check up on dictionaries if they had contradictory statements. I mean, check up for yourself. Make sure. What are the rules of 2023 that we're in at the minute? What are your personal rules? Would it require you to accept the contradiction if they started putting them in dictionaries? If they said it's allowed, all of a sudden it's 2023, we've got a law now that says that you can contradict yourself when you're talking. Would that affect how you talk to people? I'd say not. I'd say that would be the end of civilization. You can't talk. You can't communicate. If you're communicating with people that contradict themselves, or that are willing to contradict themselves, What about what about if people just say, well, I assume an impossibility? And you say, well, it's an impossibility. How can you just go along with an assumption? We say, well, I just do. I assume it to start off with. So that's where I'm starting off with. A similar sort of thing. Contradictions. Just blind assumptions. It's not really the way to start communication, conversation. I've had enough. So we are on the level. I think it does actually say on the thing. And that is based around truth statements. On the level, it's being honest. Bona fide, it calls it. That's the whole idea. Now, there are people who go out there slandering. If you think we're lying, then come and have the discussion. But don't just say that you assume that level is horizontal is a lie, because as you can see, it's in the dictionary. And dictionaries don't contradict themselves. The law of identity has the law of non-contradiction inbuilt into it. They're sort of natural laws. I'd say they're the first fundamental laws. You can't build any other laws upon any other laws apart from these. This is where you start. These are the truth telling laws. You can't have a natural law that contradicts itself. You can't have a natural law that comes before the law of non-contradiction. Wouldn't be allowed. And that's what I'm talking about here when we go back to first principles. Law of identity, law of non-contradiction, law of the excluded middle. And the sufficient reason. Added later, but still worthwhile, worth noting.
I would say that I struggle with this sufficient reason because, of course, it was added very late, but I would say it was for replacement for efficient cause. It was in causation. It was called efficient cause. Like we have formal cause, material cause, final cause, and efficient cause. So that would be this sufficient reason or sufficient cause. I don't know why someone is trying to. I don't know why it is used in that way, like sufficient reason, because reason is always sufficient. So, but if the reason is cause, and I think it is just a cause, it is replacement of efficient cause, which was known very well in ancient times. I think that yes, Aristotle was talking about that also in Organon. Four kinds of reasons or causes.
Just play this again. Obviously, he's a bit slow. Couldn't really speed it up.
Well, it comes down to this, and it's just disingenuous. No one can make the claim that level is horizontal and then deny that they think the earth is flat.
I'd say yes, I can. The earth is not flat. I'm like the dictionary. I'm pretty sure that the people who wrote the dictionary weren't thinking about flat earth like these old boomers are. People can know things about reality without thinking about the shape of the earth. Some people can. Some people get it into their heads that much that they allow themselves to accept contradictory thoughts, statements. In fact, they go further than that. They push it. They aggressively push their contradictions onto other people. And that's wrong. But it may be modern day. These people may have come to 2023 and think that this is acceptable for you to push contradictions on other people. I'd say it's dangerous behavior. Mentally deranged people, I think. Only goes to show that too much model of this going too deep down the rabbit hole, you end up Mad Hatters. These are the guys that have gone down the rabbit hole into a model. They start talking contradictions. And that's not good. It's not good. When people live in reality, 99% of people live in reality, and when challenged to look up what level is, the meaning of level, they'll look at a dictionary and they'll find that it's a device for establishing a horizontal line or plane. Will they be wrong to say that? Will there be a rumpus? How many rumpuses are there? To start aggressively telling people that, you know, they were wrong. They've looked up the dictionary definition, yes, but it's not correct. You have to accept a contradictory. You have to say, not that. Place yourself within a contradictory frame where you literally can't trust what the dictionaries are telling you, because some sort of some monadic belief is telling you that it can't be. Why can't it be? Don't know, because they've assumed something ridiculous that doesn't exist. It's provable that the earth is not flat. But the old dude seems to think that it is. You have thoughts. Play it again.
Well, it comes down to this, and it's just disingenuous. No one can make the claim that level is horizontal and then deny that they think the earth is flat.
Yes, I can. Tell me nobody can. I can. And I will not be dictated to by some old boomer. Now, I don't know how many other people there are. If you were to do a general survey, what do you reckon? How many people? How many people who care for what? I don't know how many people have aggressively been told that the dictionaries are wrong. What do you reckon? How many people? I'll put the thing in the chat. Have a listen to it. This is that's the short. I cut out the big pauses. Talking points. That's all it is. It's a conversation starter. The dictionaries can do that, right? Dictionary won't say that the Earth's flat, yet they do say that level is horizontal. So why would this old boomer decide to tell everybody what they have to think? When they read the dictionary. If you read the dictionary, then what's he say? Let's have a listen to it.
Well, it comes down to this, and it's just disingenuous. No one can make the claim that level is horizontal and then deny that they think the Earth is flat.
Right, so it's just about making a claim. You make a claim that level is horizontal or horizontal is level. Predicate one of the other. And then some old codge is saying that you are then saying that the Earth's flat. You're thinking it, at least. You're thinking it.
I am not.
No, I'm
by the
not.
way.
Say he's setting up a nobody situation, so that's rife for modus tollens, right? A black swan. You say I'm the black swan of that statement, definitely. And I think everyone, like, I'm Spartacus. Just it'd be wondering why he said it, right? Like, why did he say that?
No, but he's saying that nobody can deny
Yeah.
that the Earth is flat. So it is like I would say moral qualification here.
All
But you
right.
shouldn't. You shouldn't. You are doing that what you shouldn't. This is for me. This is like accusation.
Could he say then that these dictionaries are forcing people into this unethical position?
No,
No.
they are not.
Does he think they are, though, right?
Maybe he thinks, but they are not, because they don't imply any shape here of the Earth.
Well, neither do we. Like, we literally say that it's not flat. But, you know, he's the one that's stating this. I think, personally, this the whole idea of these contradictions and the aggressiveness that it causes upon these people, it means that they actively can't talk about it. There's a topic here and a conversation that has needed to be talked about, but unable to be talked about. And I'm not too sure whether it is able to be talked about. And the topic is that there is definitely dictionaries that state that level is horizontal. You can go to a level, a shop with a level, and calibrate it, get it calibrated so it is perfectly horizontal. So these levels do exist in reality and are actually tools that establish horizontals. Yet Blue Marble, Science, the YouTuber, states if you repeat that, you are thinking. You can't deny that you're thinking about flat Earth. Well, no, it's the furthest thing from my mind. I don't give a shit. I know that flat Earth is an oxymoron. It's a contradictory statement. James says, I was told that we have to understand Latin to understand the true etymology of words. Definitions don't change, regardless of what we think they mean. Yeah, the essence of the thing is to be understood through the individual. It's the whole of this journey that I've been on has been a communication thing. It's learning how to talk to people, but also a journey to learn who it's not worth talking to. There are a group of people that literally try to push contradictions on people. And why? I know it's 2023 and this is the age of the internet, but is there a social media police? Is there a group of people? Is the grammar police able to make you, force you into accepting contradictory statements, definitions? And who are these people that put themselves in these positions? Always seems to be the same faces, the same people that have been triggered into a conversation, but they've been triggered by the truth, triggered by truthful statements. Look at where we're at. Madness. I think all of that old stuff with languages, isn't it just like an easier way of book burning? I mean, the internet is a much easier way. The digital age is a much easier way of scrubbing and rewriting history. And when they start with words, when they start trying to override what obviously is already able to be manufactured on the internet, but when still there's inconvenient truths, statements within a dictionary. I mean, what a faux pas. Can you imagine? How can level be horizontal within the dictionary? And a certain group of people have such a a hard time with it. That's got to be worrying.
Because it doesn't conform to their model. That's their problem.
Their model can't be that old. That's what it says to me. It's not as old as they make it out to be. Because they'd have done something about this. It wouldn't be here. It would have already been scrubbed. It's in the process of being scrubbed right now. By people like Rumpus. Blue Marble Science. They want to convince you of the not that. They don't want to talk about the that. They want to place your mind in the place of the not that, which is a terrible place for you to be. Should always stay within reality. Keep your mind on the that. There's going to be some hard times for people. Because reality is, there's no escaping it. The people that are trying to convince you of contradictory things, they've already lost their mind. Why it's important for them to convince other people of their madness, I'm not so sure it can help them. Don't think there's any way to help appeasing these mad people. I don't think it'll help them. And I'm not too sure how to converse with them, because I already know that they have contradictory ideas. They aggressively push those contradictions onto people. And any sort of conversation with them seems to make it worse. It gives them more things to contradict. The more facts, the more truths there are, the more things they have to try and hide. But that's 2023. That's the year we're living in. Strange times where simple truths and the definitions trouble people. Troubling definitions, predicates. I think I'm going to cut it short. If anybody wants to come into the Discord. I'm going to go over a few logic things, because we're getting a little bit deeper now, and obviously the not that's out there can't really deal with this, so it's not for everyone. If you want to come into the Discord, feel free, but there's quite a lot of stuff that we need to go over, and doing it live isn't the place to do it. So please, if you want to be part of this, come on in. We just have to go off YouTube. Anybody got any requests for a Buster song? No. Sea level. Seeing as it's a level 1. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow, Free for All Friday. I do not know if anybody wants to come round or anything, if anybody can actually talk about anything, because it's an actual discussion night. Free for All Friday. Join us, usual time. See you then. Jump in Discord. Assumption number 1. A vertical is a straight line.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Make the same assumption. A
Okay,
vertical is
and
a straight line. a
horizontal
is a straight line.
is perpendicular
Perpendicular
to it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And horizontal is a plane.
In every case, horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. It's a really big ball.
Okay.
In every case.
And
We have
all
we have no
perpendiculars to the horizontal plane will be parallel.
It's a really big ball to a horizontal plane, not to all horizontal planes. That's the problem.
No. All perpendiculars to a horizontal plane will be parallel.
It's a really big ball.
Yeah.
That would be true, but
Okay.
only one of those verticals is a plumb line. Okay, here we go. Bear with me for a second. I'll figure this out. Sea level is an arc. It's a really big ball. Mean sea level is an arc.
Mean sea level is a point. It's an average on a vertical. It can't be an
Oh
arc.
my God. Mean sea level. Oh my God. Mean sea level is established at a point, and it goes everywhere. And it goes everywhere. And it goes everywhere. Then yes, horizontals would be parallel to each other, but not planar. I don't think you understand it. Parallel to each other, but not planar. Yes, you check it. How big is a cloud, Bev? Can you not imagine a sphere, a basketball? It's a really big ball. There's no hump in space, Bev. Yes, you check it. If you're at sea level, that is falling away from a horizontal. It's falling away from you in every direction. You're standing on top of a ball. There's no
Water
hump.
levels don't fall away, though. We know how water flows.
Sure they do.
No. We know how water
Compared to a
flows.
horizontal, sure they do. And Rockia's bridge proved it. Oh my God. 90 feet. You stand in the center of that bridge, either end of it is falling away from you by 90 feet. There's no
So
hump.
you're standing on the hump.
Oh my God. There's no hump.
But you just
Standing
said
on top
that it's
of a
falling
sphere.
away at either side.
There's no hump.
Of course
standing
you're on the
top-
hump.
Can you not imagine a sphere, a basketball?
With you standing at the top of the hump.
There's no hump. Any point on it. On the side of it.
You standing on the side of a
straight
ball.
edges. I don't think you understand it. On a ball, Bev. Standing on the earth, Bev. It's a really big ball. On a ball, Bev, on the side of it. No, they'll always show it horizontally.
I know.
There's no need to show it. We know it's curved. There's no hump.
What?
It's a really big ball. There's no point in going to the trouble of drawing a curve that you can't even see, Bev. There's no
No,
hump.
it's horizontal.
It's a really big ball. Oh my God. No, it's curved, Bev.
No, there's no
In
curve
reality-
to a
In
horizontal.
reality, elevations are curved. Are you trying to say that you can have other lines that are perpendicular to that horizontal plane? I will say absolutely you can. Not a one of them meets the description of vertical.
Vertical is perpendicular to the horizontal.
No,
So
not
they
by the
would meet
definition.
that
No,
description.
Deb, not by the definition that vertical is a plumb line. Yes, you check it. I don't think you understand it. I know what you were doing, and I don't care what you were doing. I don't think you understand it. Absolutely, the two plumb lines tilt away from each other. It's a really big ball. Yes, you check it. Well, let's think about that, Bill. Those plumb lines are always diverging. Always. It's irrefutable. Yeah, that's the way you do a chart. If horizontals are perpendicular to verticals, what do you think? I think I destroyed you is what I think. It's a really big ball.
There's no curvature in a horizontal blue.
Oh yeah, there it is. It shows the diverging verticals because of the measurement of the reciprocal zenith angles. It is clear as day, and it's irrefutable. That's the end of that story. Horizontals are not parallel. Verticals are not parallel. In reality, elevations are curved. Those verticals are not parallel.
They cannot be.
I'm not going along